So, are these cheap underwater dive lights for video on Amazon any good? Stay with me for a detailed review and find out. All video shown was taken using LetonPower lights. I have personally used them on over 70 open water dives for well over 12 months in a variety of different environments. In the dark waters of New England, in the clear waters of Florida, Cuba, and Grand Cayman. And finally, the cold waters of Southern California, kelp and wreck diving. Let's look at the upgraded versions of these inexpensive video dive lights. Hey folks, welcome to another Watertrek 360. LetonPower BB1417S dive light that I reviewed last year has been upgraded. I had the opportunity to get the new B24 Sealion and the B15 Sealion, which is really the upgraded version of the old BB27. To be clear, I am not paid by nor represent LetonPower, nor any other product manufacturer I may reference. So how do the B15 and B24 compare to the BB14-7S? They have the same size and weight specifications. They are officially depth rated to 80 meters, 240 feet. Also, although some docks say 100 meters for the B15 and B24, the B15 and B24 show an IP rating of IPX68 versus an IPX8. IP rating simply means ingress protection. The first digit, the number 6, means it has a total dust ingress protection. The second digit, the number 8, means that it is suitable for submersion in water, permanent submersion. They are made of high-grade aviation aluminum alloy and are saltwater corrosion resistant. The glass face is a 6-millimeter double-plated tempered glass. Each, again, has the 1-inch ball mount. The BB14 came with this screw-on grab handle to use as a standard light, whereas the B15 and B24 now have a screw-on loop ring with a lanyard. B14 came with this storage box, so limited use when traveling, and the B15 and B24 now have this handy carry case. Nice upgrade for sure. They also included some O-ring grease, not listed on the website, and I got a second bag of spares minus the ball mount. The B15 has 8,000 lumen, while the BB14 and the B24 have 9,000. You can see the different wick configurations in the screen. They all have a beam angle of 120 degrees, so these are not spotlights. They are wide angle, normally best suited for video. If you want a narrow macro beam or something for low vis penetration diving, they are not for you. They have a Kelvin of over 6,000 as per spec, so the color temperature is a cool white. One important feature for me is that they have a CRI of at least 90. CRI, or Color Rendition Index, is a comparative scale from 0 to 100, 100 equaling natural sunlight, measuring how well a light can reproduce colors compared to sunlight. For underwater video, you need a CRI greater than 80, and for optimal results, greater than 90. They each have 2 buttons, one for the white light with high, medium, and low settings, translating to 100%, 25%, or 12%. You long press to shut it off or cycle through to off. The second light is for the red and blue. You press through a progression leading from red to flashing red to blue and then off. Double press gives this crazy light show effect of flashing lights, color lights. Lastly, they each have a 1-year warranty. I did similar in-water tests as with the BB14s, measuring button sensitivity, beam angle, water resistance, again, using them in nighttime and dusk conditions. The lights, with the exception of the lumen difference, worked exactly the same. So let's review runtime and the all-important battery tests. Both the B15 and 24 came with four 18650 3.7 3100 mAh milliamp per hour unprotected high-capacity lithium batteries. My BB14s, which I tested against, were using four high-capacity button-top protected batteries, 3.7 volts with 3500 mAh and a 10 amp discharge rate. I did a couple dozen different tests and only at high settings. Obviously, battery duration is longer at lower settings. My first few tests were baseline, comparing the existing BB14s against the 15 and the 24. Next, I did swap tests where I put my protected batteries in the 24 and the 15 and the Leton batteries into my BB14s. In the base test, the BB14 and 24 did pretty well. The B15 averaged roughly 95 minutes before turning red, the B24 103 minutes. They both stayed on for almost 12 hours before I shut them off. Never repeatedly drain lithium batteries. My protected batteries averaged 110 minutes before turning red and then shut themselves off after about 6 hours or so. In the swap test, the BB14s with the lithium batteries did not fare as well. They averaged roughly 40 minutes until red and then dimmed continually until I shut them off. The B15 and the B24 did better with my batteries, the B15 averaging 120 minutes and the B24 133 before going red, a net gain of 25 and 20 minutes. The swap test highlighted a couple of things. The good news is Leton must have made some efficiency improvements in the light's circuitry around battery consumption. As you saw, the older lights with the Leton batteries did not perform as well, and the 10 amp high drain batteries increased runtime noticeably. That's good. So the Leton batteries worked pretty well. However, Leton does not sell spare batteries. If you need spare batteries, batteries matter, they suggest unprotected batteries. I disagree. Look for a high drain 10 amp or better protected battery. The charge time for the Leton batteries is roughly 5 to 6 hours, which is better than my 6 to 7 hours for the 10 amp. Something to consider if you are on a liveaboard. As a reminder, these lights are strictly underwater lights. Do not use them topside. Besides getting super hot, you can damage the light and they could actually catch on fire. As always, when not in use, remove the batteries, keep them in a storage case. Always dispose of old batteries properly. So, what didn't I like? My number one and primary concern is that they are still a dual-threaded housing. 2 potential points for leakage. Always check the lower thread as well before using. I've seen comments about the lights leaking. This is the likely culprit. The remaining items are simply nuisance items. They removed the handle grip. I actually kind of like that accessory. It made it easier to hold. The buttons are still a bit sensitive, so be careful not to bump them and turn them on, especially in the camera bucket. The blue and red indicator for remaining power gives no indication of how much remaining time you actually have. They don't sell spare parts. I will leave links for similar replacement items in the description, especially the batteries. They have spare O-rings for the case, but not the ball mount. They did not include any battery storage cases. You need to buy your own. And please do. Never store lithium batteries loose or in contact with anything metal. Do not store or transport the light with the batteries in it. So, the good. It's depth rated to at least 240 feet. They have a CRI of 90. My water test for the B15 and B24 went as expected. I have found the lights to be durable. I expect the same long-term results as with the BB14. The lights, based on my test, are more efficient. At no extra cost, you now get additional accessories, especially batteries, so you don't have to spend well over $100 like I did on my BB14s, unless you need spares. So, my overall impression of the new B15 and B24 Sealion wide-angle video lights, thumbs up. I am happy with these lights. I'm getting more for less. With prices at $80 and $90, you can't beat that. Well, I hope you found this useful. If so, please click subscribe. Anyway, my friends, stay safe, plan some new dive adventures. I am. And remember, as always, go explore, get wet.